that didn't. There it is. That should fix it. I hate when stuff doesn't work. It's not even muted. It's just it whatever. I hate computers. I hate everything. But what's up? We're here. Hope everybody's good. Hope you had a great Sunday. It's here. We are back. We are running Vulnerable episode 5 with the guy you can't see yet. We're talking about success. We're trying to, we've had a wild ride the last 4 episodes. We did vulnerability, we did loneliness, we did self-care and self-doubt. And now we are looking at success. So, not like this. So, Nazareth, Mr. Smiles, Brocky, appreciate you all. Thank you all for the host. Maddie I see you. Tasha, which is Matthew Bush, I got you. You're good. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping through. Be with your family. That's most important, dude. Tasha Ken and Mr. Matty Ice himself. I appreciate you all. Listen. All right, y'all know how we do, right? Y'all know what we do. This is vulnerable. So this is put the kids to bed. Okay. This is at this point we are. This is a conversation for adults, so it's going to be an 18+ stream. Just because while this particular topic may not be as the others were, still, it just still is. And so, just be mindful of that. But I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Some of this will deal with things that you all have seen even in the channel. At least from my side. I don't know what the other guys, I don't know what he's going to talk about. I don't know what Sid's going to talk about, but it's all good, right? We're doing this thing because the ultimate goal is to be vulnerable and to inspire others to have these kind of conversations out in the open, because that's the best place to have it. Because most of us have had these conversations internally and look where it's got us. A lot of times nowhere. And so if you want different results, you definitely got to try something different. And so we, do that. Just may be some colorful language on the, just might be. So, but I appreciate you. Love you too, my dude. And you can always go back to the VOD or you can listen to it. There's all kind of ways to find us. We've got links. We're on Spotify. So if you want to catch up on it, you can. I just don't know where the conversation would go. So I don't want, I don't want any surprises. I don't want anybody to be surprised about, about anything. But yeah, we want to have this conversation out in the open. Hey, if one person is helped by what we talk about, mission accomplished, has been succeeded. What's up, Dragon Man? Hope you're good, dude. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Let me see. Is they even on here? Is it on here? It is not. All right. Typically I do shout outs, but what I need is actually, let me see. Hold on. What I need is not here, but I want to do them. So give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. It's right there. Let me do this and I will come back here where you can be. Good. All right, hold on. I think it's go time. I think it's go time. All right, let me see what he's doing. All right, because he's waving his arms in the air. I don't really know what's happening, but he's waving his arms all in the air. So let's go. Why are you waving your arms in? All right, so it's go time. It's go time. I'll get to some shout outs here in a second. What am I doing, dude? I need to push buttons and do things.
Jay, how are you, my friend? It's good to see you. I know you can't hear Hammer because he hasn't undeafened, but there he is. Hi, friend.
I have undeafened. Don't tell me what I haven't done.
Don't you tell me what you haven't done. I know what you've done. Know what you haven't done.
I saw your.
Hello, my friend.
Were you landing airplanes?
Yes. I was guiding you out. I was letting you know it was safe. Guys.
I told him. I think it's time. I think it's time for us to go. I said, hold on.
Yeah, I was directing ground air traffic. Yeah.
Perfect.
Also, somebody ban Jay, please. Please, right now, ban Jay. You can't keep using root beer. Root beer's not a thing. All right. Welcome on in, everybody.
Welcome.
Episode 5 of Vulnerable. Tonight, we're talking about success, right? Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing.
Is that our thing? Yeah? Okay. So, where to start with this one? Because we were talking a little bit before the podcast, and while I know that we both have successes in our lives, 100% that we are both proud of, and just like, you know, it's kind of our go-to, like, yeah, I'm super proud of this. I'll speak for myself. But success is something that I have a hard time accepting. Now, what's going to be funny through this like conversation is going to be there's moments where I'm going to have successful moments, and I'm going to feel like, yeah, of course, you know, my ego's there, and I'm feeling it. There's so many more moments where any amount of success makes me cringe, and I want to go hide and die in a corner.
So we're starting here. We're just starting just right here, just jumping right into it, right there.
Well, normally we start with the definitions, but I was just sort of setting the stage. But yeah, let's at least start with definitions and go from there.
Success. I mean, for me, it's basic. It's the achieving of some set goal. You know, the achievement, the culmination of the hard work set in, the hard work that has been put in for a goal, for something you wish to accomplish, to achieve success. And it can be deliberate or not so much.
That's true. You can screw your way up into success. Happens. Okay. I don't have anything else to add. I mean, that's pretty. It's a pretty solid explanation. The only thing I would maybe add, I suppose, a little bit is what is that measure of success? But that depends on the person and what you're doing. But so yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly.
Oh, look at that.
It's reaching a goal, right? So where do you want to start with this? So we got our definition out of the way within like a minute, because I mean, how long can we linger? So like when we're talking about the other topics, yeah, we kind of linger around it, meander a little bit, but in the end, with this one, it's like, okay, there's only so much picture you can paint for the friggin' word success, right?
Yeah, and we.
So where does that put us?
So, well, let me start here, just for the. Okay. I mean, people who know us know this, but just for the sake of saying, then what this is not is a bragging session. This is not. You know, wait. It's not, look at us, we're so wonderful, we're so awesome, we're so this. Because as previously said, I would rather go and hide and die in the corner than to talk about anything like this. So this, out of all we've discussed, is more out of our comfort zone, which is probably a shame. But
it is a shame.
This is more outside of our comfort zone than self-doubt, vulnerability, self-care, loneliness. This is yeah. But so I just, you know, just for the sake of setting a baseline, that this is not, you know, we're not tooting our own horns. We're not and you know having an overinflated sense of self. This is not what this is. But we will be talking about our successes.
We will.
That's what we have to do.
As painful as that might be. Oh no! Okay, hold on. That's bullshit. Because there are things I feel like in my life that I am successful, and I'm proud of it, and I will shout it from the rooftops because I worked my ass off to get whatever the hell it was. You know, do something, accomplish a thing. I wonder because I'm trying to think. What is it about that I'm okay with? But there's other successes and moments where I can, like we talked about already. So I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to navigate this piece, because it's like this weird dichotomy, right? Like on the one hand, we're proud of some things. On the other hand, we want to just crawl away. So how do we unpack that whole thing in order to really explain where we are with success and things in our lives that have made us successful, or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm trying to say?
Well, I think that the conversation about success, where that comes from, kind of determines our response. To your point, I've done some things I'm like, yo, this is the best thing ever. I want to tell everybody. But if you tell me that, I'm going to tell you, no, I hate it. Don't say it.
Perfect. You just nailed it. You want to be your own representation, and if somebody dares say a word anything outside of what I am willing to state in public, that's it.
That's
Can't
it.
deal with it.
That-
I think you just nailed it.
That's where it is.
Okay, so let's walk through that then.
So some of it, and
Because I have a great example of this. I mean, I'm going to tell myself big time with this one, but go ahead.
oh, this should be fun. I mean, well, for me, it's well, I don't like it. I guess I can't say that, but in some senses, I don't like attention. But I'm a guy in front of people doing stuff, yeah, whatever. But I'm just kind of low key. Just I do what I need to do, and that's that, and just that's it. I don't really even know anything else. I just do what I'm supposed to do. If it's great, great. If it's not, tell me so I can fix it, and then I'm moving on. And so I'm not really in things that I'm doing. I'm not so much looking for people to tell me how great it was, or how awesome it was. I'm just doing what I do because that's what I do.
Right.
And then when it comes back, for example, I guess I need to go into an example first.
Go for it.
I at work, at my job, I've worked in the same department at this organization since 2013. And it was never my intent to be here as long as I was going to be here. As a matter of fact, there was a situation one time where I was upset. I was so upset that I wrote my resignation letter on my phone, and all I needed was a date. That's all I needed. I was so upset. I wrote it and was going to give it to them the next day. Clearly I didn't.
Yeah.
And so, and then the way the department was set up, there was no chance for growth. The only way I could grow is if my supervisor resigned. That was the only way that I could grow, and I could grow up to the supervisor position, and then that was it. Because the next position up from that was based in Los Angeles. And that was the assistant to the CEO. You don't just do that. You don't just go from here to here and then you assist the CEO, because then the next position
you could,
but not 5 years in when the person who's been there has been there 30 years. So
I mean, those moments, I don't know, and that tenure needs matters all that much. So
in this particular organization, yes, it does.
It did. Okay.
It means a whole lot. And then I wasn't moving to LA. There's the flip side of that.
Wow. Yeah.
So
moving literally across the country. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. So my supervisor resigned. Okay. I was completely caught off guard when we found out. And guess who was next in line? It was me. And I was like, I mean, okay, fine. And so then I had a conversation with my boss now, and the president of our division, and they went through the reasons why they selected me. I hated every second of it. I was just like, listen, I didn't do all of this for that. I only did this because it needed to be done. And so, even though some of this was outside of my job description, some of this was not my responsibility. Some of this I probably shouldn't have done because I've caused problems now that I got to deal with, because now people expect us to do this, and then fine. But, here we are. And so I didn't do that for recognition. And it's to the point now that they've actually started a new talent program for high performing employees. I'm in that program. I didn't ask for that. I was just like, oh, well, okay. They're like, you're not excited like I am. I wasn't expecting that, because this is not my purpose for doing that. I'm terribly excited, but that's not why I do what I do. For somebody to say, hey, you're awesome. Hey, you're great. I hold myself to a particular standard, and I just try to live at least at that standard, and whatever else is whatever else. I mean, there was another time where I saved the company $20,000 because I did something myself that they would have had to pay somebody for. Right. And it was just all this great thing. I'm like, look, I just edited a few videos. I mean, it was 50, but I edited a few videos, and
that's just a few, 50, whatever. What are numbers and words, right? They mean nothing.
And that was it. And so the biggest thing I think for me is I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm not, sure, I might be succeeding in it, but I'm not doing it for you to recognize that I succeeded. And so then when you tell me now I don't like you, because I really don't want to know that that's what it is. Because that's, I want to succeed. I want to succeed, but
Mhm.
I don't want you to tell me that I've succeeded. I just want to know that I've succeeded and then kind of go on. And there's a flip side to that I will wait for. That I
The opposite side.
Yes.
Oh, I want to walk through something too. I was thinking about when you were talking about it because I wonder if it's something because I wonder if we're conflating two things when we talk about success versus credit, right? Because like, you know, there are mile markers, milestones, whatever the hell you want to call them, where we have these things that we've talked about that we consider successes. But the taking credit for a job well done, while technically a success, a small versus a large, whatever, are we kind of conflating those two things a little bit? Because I mean, it's important to talk about. Like, I mean, again, why can't we, meaning you and I, like take credit for shit? I'm not saying we have to, do a whole, a whole thing about it, like,
well, I think
something,
it's
but still, like, there's got to be a way to accept the credit for stuff, be okay with it, not want to crawl into a hole and die. Um, but that's next to impossible. I never mind. I don't think we're conflating it. I think it works. Okay. I had to walk through that verbally.
and I think some of it too is, at least for me, sure, the taking credit for is a train, because we're getting to the success thing. So you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, and so you succeed here. So, but just don't tell me. I really don't care. Just don't tell me. I'm good.
Oh, you do care.
I mean,
you
you're
care.
right. I do. But I'm like, because then the flip side is, because then if you don't tell me, now I'm feeling all unappreciated, because you clearly don't see what I'm doing because you haven't said anything. So there's that piece of it that we can get into, which either is a conversation for today or another time. But there is a flip side to that also.
Let me also pose this too. This is not a unique thing. Like none of what we bring up is meant to in any way be unique, because to be honest with you, like the crap that we're talking about, especially now, I know there's people in both of our chats that are like, I don't know what you're talking about, because it's the same thing everywhere. Who have you known that you've been close with in any way, shape, or form has ever been able to really take and accept gratitude, like, you know what I'm saying, like accolades, whatever? Like, it's hard.
It is.
And one of the things that was said to me, which I'm not going to tell the story now because it's not time for it. One of the things that was said to me by my wife Chippos, when people are complimenting you or saying something about you, they're doing it in a way for themselves because they want to express to you what they feel about you. Like, it validates them in the sense that, like, here's this person I care about and I want to see succeed, and they've succeeded. So I'm going to let them know because I'm another voice who cares about this person. So in the sense, it is very much about the person telling the compliment. But in the moment, I don't have that perspective. I have that yucky feeling of, I don't want to hear this shit. Don't tell me I did well. I'll sit and listen to criticism all day long, but if you have nice words to say about me, take a hike, Jack. I don't want nothing to do with you. Sorry.
I mean, it's the strangest thing. It's the strangest thing. As much as we sometimes want this encouragement, this, thing that you notice what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Then we don't.
No. So where do we go with that one? Like, was that actually, that question is probably more better towards the end.
Yep.
Where do we go? Yeah. So it's story time.
Story time.
Let's do story time.
Yes.
Since you kicked it off, I'll tell something really uncomfortable. I'm gonna hate the shit out of this, because this both is something I'm actually really proud of and also very embarrassed to talk about.
Yes.
So when I got clean years ago and I got back to the workforce, my goal was to get back to the company that I had worked for originally. This is a good career path. It was a place I knew well. So for the longest time, I wanted to get back there so I could like restart my career track with this company. Um, I worked for a number of years at this other company, and finally, after applying so many times, I got in. And I made sure that like when I got to this role, I was gonna bust my ass because I had a goal in mind. I wanted to move into a leadership role. Like I had kind of been sitting there thinking, well, I can move into this, or I could do client management, or I could do this analyst position or whatever. But no, I really would like to move into a leadership role. And I told my leadership that at the time, and they were like, okay, cool, we'll work with you. So once you get up to speed. So the first year I spent getting up to speed, learning the job, because it did take about a year to really get comfortable with the job. It was, it's not rocket science, but just the ins and outs of all the little things to know about, the job took a long time. That next year, I busted my ass every day. I was taking on more responsibilities constantly. I was trying to build relationships with the client where there was none, and repair relationships where we had screwed up before. This was my focus, my primary thing. So, was it January of 2018? This is kind of a funny story within a story. So Chippo tells me, hey, we should go to the eye doctor. I haven't been to the eye doctor in years. I don't wear glasses. But she's like, it's been years. You haven't been to the eye doctor. Let's go when I go to my appointment. It's like, okay. So it was like a work day. It was like a Thursday or something like that. And she's like, it's at noon. I said, okay, well, fine. Pick me up from work because we only have one car. So she picks me up from work and she's like, hey, let's go have lunch first. I'm like, okay, where do you want to go? She's like, I don't know. What do you want? I'm like, I guess pizza's fine. She's like, okay, good. Because I got us a table at this pizza place. What are you talking about? You got a table at a pizza place. What the fuck are you on about? She's like, no, I already ordered for us. I'm like, we're going to the eye doctor. We don't have time for this. What is happening? I was starting to get concerned. I'm like, what are you doing? So we're driving kind of slow. She gets lost. Long story short, we get to this place. My entire work crew's there. My boss, our director, and the 6 employees, plus the 3 folks that work from home are all here. It's this big celebration. So my company has this thing where we're actually 2 companies in one, and there's over 300 and some odd thousand employees. Okay. The division that I work for is about 165,000. There's this thing every year where you can nominate somebody who's done an outstanding job and this, that, or the other. They have up to about 5,000 nominations, and only 300 people get awarded this thing. I was awarded this thing.
Nice.
And it's a very big fucking deal. They take it very seriously, the entire leadership. So it was a trip to Vegas. Every year they pick a new place. This happened to be Vegas. They put us up at the Aria, which is nice enough. It was a nice place. And all of this company's leadership, every single executive, except for maybe 1 or 2, wasn't there. But was there to greet us, to bring us in, to handhold us, to check us into the thing. I mean, they made this a whole big goddamn event. 3 days worth of like activities and all to celebrate the work that we did.
Nice.
Talk about 300 people who don't want to be somewhere getting that kind of thanks and accolades. I mean, it was super awkward. Every table, they sit every group with like one of the executives so they can sit there and talk and tell you all the things they think about you. It was disgusting. It was awful. Like, what is happening here? But it was an amazing event. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, to say they rolled out the red carpet for us would be an understatement because they literally rolled out the red carpet for us during one of the few events that we had. I mean, it was a whole long thing. I have pictures I can show you. It's awful. I am both proud of that because of the work that I did to do the thing, to get that sort of award. But I'm also really uncomfortable even having this conversation. Like, I'm starting to feel like kind of warm, like my face is heating up a little bit because I just hate to bring this up. So there's that thing of like, I'm glad that it happened, but also no, and I know you do, as you sit there smiling. I'm telling the podcast audience, I'll do a play-by-play. Hammer is looking down at the floor. He's not quite sure what to say next, folks. Deep breath and
Well,
Sorry.
well, well. Uh, I hate it there. I wasn't even there,
Hmm.
and I hate it there.
No, you would have. You would have hated every goddamn minute of it, and loved it at the same time.
Of course, and that's
Met some amazing people.
and that's the thing, right? You know, and I think with that, in talking about success, I think some of it deals with.
I'm sorry. Can I do something that's going to embarrass me, real quick?
Do it.
This is for the This is for the Twitch audience. This is not for podcast audience. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. So just to show you that I'm actually like proud of this, I still have the statue that they
Nice.
gave. I still have it. It's up here with all the other shit on a shelf. So I actually am proud of it, and I do keep it displayed.
Nice, and as you should.
Right? You think so?
I will say, I think some of this deals with how we were raised, also.
Well, yeah, we can. I mean,
I think that's a major part of it. You know, you do what you do, and that's it. You know, we're taught, you know, not to be not that you're proud, but again, it's like I said before, it's not to be boastful. You know, to be big headed or be whatever. So I think, again, I can talk about Russell. I know, in my mind only, I'll say it that way. It's like I want to stay humble. You know, I want to stay humble, but I do know in sometimes trying to be humble that I will downplay things that I've done just for the sake of not appearing to be anything besides humble. Cause that's, you know, that's just my goal. I don't want to come off as being anything else, but you know, I'm just a guy, and I've said it time. I'm just a guy trying to help. I'm just a guy.
If I nod my head anymore, I'm gonna sprain my neck.
I'm just
letting you know.
I'm just, you know, I just do what I do. What's the other one? I do what I can. That's the one. Well, you know, you did so, you know, I just do what I can. That's it. I just do what I can, and then I keep it moving. And so I think, but in that, what are we doing to ourselves though?
It's, well, I mean, hell, I can go on forever. I know. Here's the really annoying part. Knowing yourself well enough to know why you do and say the things you do, and yet continue to do them. I would, in some moments, rather be not self-aware than self-aware, because it makes it that much more painful when you know what you say to people, as we've talked about before, gives them this image of you that they will then respond to. Not all the other shit in your head that you're actually thinking, but the stuff that you qualify for, like like you were just talking about. Like, it's this really difficult thing to know yourself well enough to know you're incapable of accepting certain things, but also in the same moment not being able to do it. Like, I have to make that concerted effort, and it's a concerted effort. You and I have talked just one-on-one and having comfortable moments of like, stop talking about me. We're not doing this right now. This isn't chat. Shut up. But it's what we do, because I mean, we are friends. We do care about each other's successes and want to be there to support, you know, when failures happen and all the other shit in between. And you know, if Hammer does something that is impressive and amazing, which is, you know, every day for him.
You got that one. You got that one. Okay. I'll give you that one. Just know your turn is coming. No one understand that your turn is coming. But okay, you slid that one in there. You got it. You got that one.
Podcast audience, I'm gonna turn this over to Hammer. I can't stop giggling.
You got that one. You got that one. But it's
yeah.
I hate it here. But
I know.
It's just weird. It's really just an odd space. I mean, I guess story time for me. Everybody knows. Well, most people know. At the beginning of the year, I started this push for subscribers over on Facebook. We did that thing. So you need 250 viewers, returning viewers over 2 weeks. So that means they need to, Sunday to Saturday, they need to be in your stream for at least 1 minute. The following week, they need to come back to your stream and be there for at least a minute. Now, mind you, the channel has grown since then. Wonderful. But if anything, we were just at 1,000 followers over on Facebook. So that means a quarter of them had to come back. A quarter of them. Now, we don't do metrics as much as we should because it's just what it is. But sometimes looking at viewers and you see 5, I'm like, yeah, I'm not supposed to get to 250?
Yeah.
And I see, oh, look, there's 7. How great. You know, as I'm at hour 6 in the stream, and I'm like, how, you know, fine, whatever. And so we work. I got yelled at for a number of things, a number of questionable choices that we won't discuss. During that time, I said we won't discuss.
Are you sure we shouldn't discuss it?
Yep, we're not discussing.
Okay. Move right past it.
Yep, said what I said.
I heard you.
And so March it happens. You know, we're playing Invictus. I'm not really playing Invictus, honestly. I'm just pressing.
Wish you hadn't. Wish you hadn't. Sorry. It's horrible.
I'm just pressing buttons at this time because I'm not even really focused on the game because people are coming in, everybody's in doing this, yada yada yada. 252 or 253 is where we land. Great.
Awesome.
You know, we're ecstatic. Finally, I can chill because this was a rough push. I mean, since we're there, there was that one night that I streamed way too long.
You?
Yeah, way too long. I started at like 9. I ended at like 5 in the morning. And then I had to go to work the next day.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was a real thing. You already knew about it. I got yelled at by everybody.
Well, I'm going to yell at you too.
Yell at me
How
later.
could you do such a ridiculous?
I was trying to finish the level. I did beat the level.
Yeah, thank God.
I finally beat the level, but it was 5 in the morning. I didn't sleep because I couldn't. And then I got up, went to work. And the next day, worked all day. I was going to go home, but something happened. And so fine, whatever. So I dealt with that the next day. We're good. I did a whole stream about it. But okay, so we got it. We've unlocked subscribers. People are, before I can even get it set up, people are asking. I finally get it set up. As soon as I hit save, 6 subscribers come through. I just happen to have Streamlabs up and it scared me because alerts are going off. They're not ready. It's the wrong alerts. All kind of stuff is happening. And everyone's like, dude, you deserve this. I'm like, why? What makes me any different than Joe Blow, who streams, I don't know, whatever, over on that channel over there? Well, why is it that I deserve it and he doesn't? Why is it that I deserve it, but you didn't say that about her? What is that? And I'll be honest, I struggled with that for a long time. Like, you know, it's something that I wanted. You know, that was, and I succeeded. Great. You know, I couldn't do it without other people, but I do have to stream. I do have a part in that. I mean, you can't.
I should say so, yeah.
Right. You can't return to a stream that doesn't happen. So, you know, I get it. I put in the time. I put a lot of things on hold because I was streaming every day, sometimes several times a day for longer periods of time. Those were some of the longest streams I've ever done in my whole entire life that I will probably never, ever do again. Because 8 hours playing Invictus, like literally my ring finger.
I want to watch it for 8 minutes.
Yeah,
hurts my soul to watch it.
My ring finger, literally like right here, was numb from holding the controller so tightly, trying to. I'm like literally, I couldn't feel it, but I was determined to get to Kamek. Fine, but I got the thing that I wanted.
Yeah,
but even in that, you can't. Why do I deserve it? What makes me any different than anybody else? Sure, anybody else could have put the time in. And I mean, and what made it even more so was on the last night, because it was the Saturday night, I was doing this last push because we were like right there. We were like 240, whatever. So I'm like, listen, we can do this. People are they're tagging people, they're taking people's phones, and that's from what I've been told.
I remember
They're taking people's phones and coming in at the stream and doing a whole VOD because there was a link that you could click for last week. You watch that, you come back, watch this week. It does or does not work. I don't know, but I was like, hey, it can't hurt. So they're saying, hey, I took my wife's phone, I took my mom's phone, took my auntie's phone, my uncle, my cousin, my whoever. So they're just taking people's phones and devices. You know, hey, you dude, come here. You got a phone? Yeah, come here. I need you to watch this stream. You got 5 minutes. Come over here.
I was gonna say,
they're just random people, and sure. And then all the streamers are in. It's all kind of stuff coming. I'm stoked about it. But then I'm like, but why me?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why not you? Like, I mean, I'm not being obnoxious when I ask this question. Like, so you mentioned all these other people. Why did they deserve it more than you do? I mean, you put the time in. You made the effort. I mean, listen. If I were in your shoes, I would feel how you feel. So I get it. I'm not being argumentative. I'm just trying to say, like, what is it about us that feels that way of, like, why does that person deserve it more than I do? Why can't we both also, like, deserve it equally and I just happen to get it?
Again, I think some of it is upbringing. And for me, I know that I've had self-esteem issues. I know that. And so
I would know nothing about that at all, sir.
Of course you would. And so Russell is not that great. He's just even I would say otherwise, it's just this average guy.
Be careful, sir.
I'm being careful. So you got to hear me out. I know where you are, and I think I know what's happening. So you got to hear me completely. In my mind only, in a portion of my mind, and put it that way, just an average guy. Again, like I said, I just do what I do. I help out where I can. It's nothing extraordinary. It's just what it is. And so, since I'm just such an ordinary guy, ordinary people don't need extraordinary stuff. Ordinary people, they just go to an ordinary job, they drive an ordinary car, they have an ordinary family, and everything just ordinary. It's just regular. It's just standard,
right.
But I do understand that invulnerable, you and I, we have impact on people beyond what we even know. So we do things that are extraordinary. Why'd you
have to phrase it like that?
Because I said what I said.
No.
Even this guy that's with me, he does amazing things. I mean, how many times has he talked me off the ledge, right? That one over there.
Uh-huh. I don't. Yeah, you're pointing the wrong way on my screen.
I don't care. I'm pointing the right way on mine.
I mean, unless there's somebody next to you. I mean, I don't want to take credit. I don't have an ego.
No. But an incredible human being who I don't know what my life would be had I not met.
Okay, I got it.
That was my turn. Got it.
I know.
So, but I'm like, I have to come to the realization that I'm not just a regular person, right? I've influenced people that I don't know. I've had an impact on this, I do this, I do that. It's wonderful. I have to just understand that that's a thing, because then once fully accept it, that's the other part. Fully accept that, because then that will help alleviate the fact that I don't deserve. Or the thought, it's not a fact, the thought that I don't deserve, because I, again, diminish my self-worth or just my worth. I do that myself. And since I'm not worth it, then that's why I don't deserve. But in actuality, it's me. It's 100% me who have put myself in that situation that then I get yelled at for obvious reasons and many reasons.
Yeah.
So that's that's that. That's
okay.
That's that.
That's the hard stop. Yeah, I get all of that. I mean, again, we've talked about this. We've gone round and round about it. I think as we talk about this and kind of unpack it a little bit more, the more I think about it, like it is really crappy when somebody's trying to like genuinely, because we have a trolling community, both of us, both a larger community we belong to and our own, who like to say really nice and gross things. I mean, they're meaningful and they trust me, but they also these amazing people know how it makes us feel, so they do it on purpose. But in those moments, they are being serious to a large degree, and also in the moments when they're not kidding around, they're trying to say it. What does our reaction say to those people that are trying to tell us the things that are meaningful to them about us? I mean, ultimately, because I think in a sense, when we do it, when we diminish ourselves or whatever it is they're talking about, in a way, we're sort of diminishing that part of our relationship with that person. It's like, look, I'm just trying to give you a compliment. Why do you have to turn it into this whole other thing? I don't know. I'm broken. What do you want from me? I'm a broken toy. This is what you get. You know, it's hard to keep that piece into perspective, because you really can accidentally insult somebody who's trying to have a meaningful moment with you, and because we're just these uncomfortable whatever, it creates these types of issues.
Well, I think that's and I don't even know if this is the right phrase. I'm gonna say it. I think that's a two-way street.
Okay.
That's not the right phrase, but that's what we're gonna roll with.
Whatever.
Because especially those who know us, in knowing us, they know how we are. And so I think to somebody who knows us, hopefully they understand where we're coming from, so they take what we're saying, what we're saying in the context of thank you, but I don't want to hear it because I don't like it. Whereas somebody we don't know might be like, you're the rudest person I've ever met because you can't take a compliment. So I think some of that is contextual. You, for example, you knowing how I feel, if you say you're a great person, I tell you that I hate you, you know what that means. You're not offended.
Right, 'cause we have that relationship.
Right, you're not upset. But if Sally from next door says, hey, you're awesome, I say, hey, Sally, I hate you. Now we've got problems. So,
Sally's turning into Karen very quickly.
To just name change like that. So I think it's within context, but at the same time, why does it even have to be a thing? Why? So how far are we in the podcast?
I don't know, about 45 minutes maybe.
Yeah, we're not there yet, so I can't even get into that piece of it yet.
Get into it. Who cares? What we have, format?
It's the end. These are the practical steps that we haven't even gotten into yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does this go against the flow chart that we clearly have set up in a OneNote somewhere that we thought through? Really? I mean, if it makes sense in the moment, it makes sense.
But what do we do, dude? How do we stop this cycle? What do we do?
To be really honest with you, in a weird way, Twitch has actually helped me do a little bit of this. Because of the community, and this hurts to say, that I have built.
An awesome one, but an awesome guy who's leading said community.
Stop it right now. You stop that. I'm not trying to add more qualifiers to this. I'm just saying the community that I have built. I completely lost my thought. It was something about.
So Twitch helped you to.
Oh yeah. So with this community of amazing people that I belong to and I'm a part of, a larger community, we kind of give each other a hard time in a fairly serious way, right? Like you've been you're not part of the team necessarily, but people, I mean, you may as well be, like, people know you as far as that's concerned. So they give you the same amount of shit that I get, which is Don't you dare say something bad about yourself. And if you do, you're going to pay for it, because then you have to say something nice about yourself. I'm a middle-aged man. Why am I getting bullied by people to say nice things about myself? Am I in preschool? What the hell happened? Where are we that this is happening? But here's the flip side to that. Everything else I have done prior to now hasn't worked. All the self-deprecation, all of the overly critical self-analysis, the constant torturing, like, just, what am I doing wrong? What have I said? Or whatever. It's torture, and it's unnecessary. Like, you can be critical of yourself. Clearly, you have to be. You have to have at least attempt at an objective eye. But when you're just willfully being obstinate about how people feel about you, and the unnecessary statements that do nothing but put you down, it's never helped. There's never been a moment where you suddenly are inspired because you said something terrible about yourself. At least I know I haven't. I haven't suddenly been like, you know what, Chris, you are a piece of garbage and blah, 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 and this, that, and you may as well never do X, Y, Z again. It's never made me feel like, oh, you know what? God, I'm so glad I said that about myself last night. I am ready to take on the world. No, it just makes me feel worse. It's just that reinforcement of those negative attitudes because of whatever happened in my youth or whatever happened, growing up a little bit later, or some kind of conglomerate of all. It's my go-to. So I've had to, in the last year, think a little differently because these relationships sort of require that. I'm joking, but I'm also not joking. Like, there is a seriousness to when, people are saying, like, hey, don't say shitty things about yourself, because, honestly, not only does it not do you any good, but it ends up giving permission to other people to do this. And I'm not just talking about in chat, I'm just talking about in general, because it doesn't help. And it just fosters this environment of like, well, this person's going to talk like crap about themselves and I'm going to, and so on and so forth. So.
And to your point that you made, was it self-doubt? I think it was self-doubt. What does that say about those that are connected to us? The things, yes, the things that we say, right? The thing that we say, what does that say about them? And I mean, to your point, we could offend them, not realizing, what you say.
Oh yeah, I've hurt people's feelings, and unintentionally. I had a really challenging conversation with a friend of mine recently because of this stupid thing that I have. It's like, can't you just take the thing as it is and not, not dismiss it, not push it aside, just accept it? But I don't know. It's hard. It's something that I have tried to be aware of, and I guess I'm a little bit better. Maybe, sort of, kind of.
Well, I mean, this is one of those things.
So to your question of what do we do? How do we proceed? My answer to that question is make an actual conscious effort when these moments happen to deal with them in a healthier way. You're not going to be perfect every time, nor am I, but I mean, that is ultimately the solution, right?
It is. And I mean, one practical thing that I do is when people start saying things, before I immediately respond, I pause.
Okay.
Maybe that I will go, and I will say 2 words, and then I get away from them. I say to them, thank you. And then I am very quickly making an exit so that I don't dilute the thank you with something else. Thank you, but I'm just doing so and so. Thank you, but it was nothing. Thank you, but no, just thank you, period. And it takes some real effort to just say thank you. And it makes it even worse when they say, so and so and so and so. Thank you. Yeah, because you just, I said thank you. ma'am. I said
Mhm.
thank you. Do
We
not
left
go
it at
any
that.
further. Yes, do not go any further because now you're pushing me. You're pushing me somewhere where I said thank you. You already know how I feel about this. I said thank you. I said good day,
Yeah.
sir.
Say good day, sir.
So I think, and that's and from there, then I'm like, okay, you did good, Russ. You did good. All right. Now you need to get somebody so you can recover. Because what you don't want to happen is run into somebody else, and here they come with the exact same thing. Because I'm not going to be as good as I was the first time. I can't guarantee I can do this in succession. I can't say, oh, so and so, oh, thank you so much, and you go next thing, and so and so, oh, thank you, I appreciate it, and God forbid a third person come, don't talk to me, don't say anything to me,
I would say
I'm not ready for you.
Usually, yeah, 2 people are about it. It's stickball rules. 2 strikes, you're out.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think it really takes some, to your point, it takes some very specific concentration, you know, have to focus all of your energy, bring it all the way up from your toes to understand that these people, they that's them expressing their gratitude, you know, in some shape or form. Don't dismiss their gratitude.
Yeah. And something that we clearly have to work on, both of us, right?
You got to work hard on it because
very hard.
Because we're in spaces where we're in a space now where, like I said before, we impact around the world, right? You showed me the blue dots all over the place. So
you can't say words. I'm not allowed to say words. But continue.
I know. God, what if somebody sends a message from Brazil? What do we say? Hey, stay in Brazil. Don't send me great stuff. You know.
Yeah. Screw you. I don't care that you like my stuff. I don't want to talk about it.
You know, we can't.
We're kidding. We love feedback.
Yeah, we love all of it. We love all of it. But you know, it's us. It's not you. It's us. It is all
not
of
you,
us.
It's me.
It's totally us. Because it's just one of those things, Wes. Just one of those things. Please, of course you can. Go for it.
Well, because this is going to take a hard left turn. Still same topic, but let's talk about the actual word success. Okay, let's drive a little out of this uncomfortable zone because it's going to weave back into it eventually anyway. What metric do we, meaning you and I, use for success? Right? Because that, I think, goes back to the original discussion about like defining it. What's your metric? What do you consider a success? What have you considered? What would you consider in the future success? That's kind of something we should probably navigate through too. Because I have things I feel successful, but I can name, you know, let's do it. Let's play a really irritating game. Name 5 things you feel that you have succeeded at. We'll go 1 for 1.
All right, you go first.
Remember, I go first, really?
Boom.
Okay. I am proud. Oh, fuck this. Why did I do this? All right. I'm proud of the fact that after screwing up royally in high school, I spent a year and a half in night school and I got my actual diploma. Your turn.
I got my bachelor's degree at least started the process and finished after while deployed in Afghanistan.
It's a hell of a thing to be proud of. That's a good success.
Your move.
Love that. All things considered, September 22nd of this year, I will have 11 years clean from opiate addiction. I am 100% proud of that. And due to recent events, I'm particularly proud of that.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
Everybody in the audience, I want you to appreciate how unbelievably uncomfortable this is.
You have no clue.
No. Maybe you do.
I am proud of that, and I got to get into this too. My success in the Army, the National Guard, the fact that I am now a non-commissioned officer leading soldiers.
Which, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm going to say I'm proud of you too. So whatever. Don't you roll your eyes at me. You already rolled your eyes so hard earlier. I thought you were going to get a tilt sign. Somebody knocked into a pinball machine. you're never gonna see again. Your eyes just gonna be stuck back in your head forever.
That's what that's what they say. What is your move?
Yeah, it's my move. Uh I am proud of my ability to
Mm-hmm.
forgive. And this sounds weird, and I want you to. There's a story behind it. I've told it a little bit. When years ago, when my sister-in-law and us, we all weren't talking. Once we had our sort of all come to Jesus conversation, like, hey, with stuff's going on, we gotta talk. I am genuinely proud of the relationship I forged with this person. I went from hating the ground this person walked on to forgiving them, working through it, seeing my part in it and the result. Because guess what? I have an amazing relationship with this person. I adore them. I mean, it's allowed me to have a great relationship with my niece and nephew. And that was hard. So I consider that a success.
My move.
Your move, sir. 3 more for you, 2 more for me. I'm keeping count.
I feel like you miscounted.
Did I?
I think
We've all night.
you're right. So I'm in a difficult situation. I think the way that I've navigated some of these situations within the situation.
Maybe a little too vague.
I know, intentionally.
Yeah, no, I got it. Okay. I'm with you. I'm just trying to make sure I'm following the thread here.
Yeah, there's within this big situation, there are smaller events. Maybe that's a better way to say that.
Okay.
That I have to navigate through. I am proud of how I'll navigate through them and at least attempt to minimize collateral damage. I do understand that was very vague. And
Yeah,
it does have to be for
Is it a success for you?
specific reason.
Are you genuinely proud of it? Okay, well then there you go.
am.
That's good enough. Listen, the reason I'm doing this whole little exercise of talking about, because what's the title of the show? It's vulnerable. We're making ourselves vulnerable. This isn't comfortable. We're having this conversation because it is difficult. Is this an earth-shattering thing? No, but it's part of our personalities, something that we should talk about and deal with. Okay, so my turn, huh?
Yeah, I feel like you were stalling, but sure, go ahead.
No, I just putting whatever. Fine, we'll stall. You know what? There's a success. There's a failure that I am genuinely proud of, and I mean that. I really do. So this job that I had before that I was talking about, where they sent me to this thing, I had worked to basically, I told my boss at least once a month, I'm like, when are you leaving so I can have your job? You know, I would do everything I possibly could to take more shit off their plate so I could do their job. And I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but I was heir apparent because this person was moving on from the role at some point. And the reason why I wanted to, first of all, I love the job and I liked doing the idea of doing the rest of it because I was already doing most of it on site anyway with one of the clients. I was already working with my peers in a lot of ways that he was to try and take shit off his plate. So it wouldn't have been a difficult transition for me. I did everything I possibly could. I set up everything perfectly. I talked to the, my field director. I talked to the national director. I talked to the VP and all these people. And I was ready to get this job. All I had to do was hit apply and it would have been pretty much done, right? The business model that they were going with imploded completely. They just basically said, we are not backfilling any more of these director roles. We're going to keep absorbing territories, and the rest of it is going to our global partners, which meant basically this whole thing was dead. So while it's not a failure that I am responsible for, it's still a failure in the sense that the objective was not met, right?
Right.
Our dear friend LND has a soundbite on her stream from Star Trek: The Next Generation where Picard says it is possible to make no wrong moves and still lose. Like there was nothing more I could have done, right? In this instance. Like I talked to the right people, I had the right relationships, I knew the job through and through. I was ready to take it. But it just didn't happen. And it was nothing I could do, but I still saw it as a failure somehow. Right? I had to internalize it some way. I spent the next year like on and off depressed about this stupid thing that I had no control over. And finally, I was like, dude, you got to just move on from this. Like maybe not a year, maybe a year's a little long, but it was a while. It wasn't a short period of time. It took a while to shake that off because I had put all my eggs in one basket. But in the end, what I learned in that role, what I knew of my capabilities coming out of it, I mean, it's paying dividends in my most recent role, which I'm, despite the fact that I had some troubles, I've done fairly well at. So it's a failure that to me in the end is a success. And with that, I'm serving back to you.
I am proud of my reputation.
It should be interesting.
I've got a reputation of being a go-getter, of being reliable, of being dependable, those kind of things. So I'm proud of that proceeding. For example, the way the National Guard works, which is different than active duty in the Army, it is everything is done by slots. And so to give a bit of background, everything is, you have pay grades. So for the enlisted side, it's an E1 through an E whatever it is, and then officers are O whatever. So to be a non-commissioned officer, you need to be technically an E5 or above. There is an E4 commissioned officer. It's a weird space to be in. So me as an E, it's very weird because you don't get paid anymore, but
you got all the responsibilities, but not the pay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, they do that in the corporate world too.
Yeah, it's actually called a corpo. So it's exactly what it's called.
There you go.
Of course, right? So me as a specialist, the E4, the Army decided that for my particular job, they didn't need sergeants for some strange reason, which disrupts the whole chain of command. Typically, you have your specialist, your sergeant, your staff sergeant, and it goes on up. Well, they got rid of the sergeants, and so it was either all of the E4 and below, and then straight up to the E6, no E5, which is why when I got promoted, I had to change units. Okay. I had to go to an entirely different unit altogether.
I remember. Yeah, okay.
And so when I got to the unit, then my new unit, my section chief said, all right, so who wants, because we have these giant forklifts that we use because they pick up 10,000 pounds. She said, well, who wants to go out and give a forklift class? Now I'm the new guy. So I'm somewhat stepped back just to kind of see how they run things, how they do things, and then try to find my rhythm. Then I'll start integrating, but I want to see how they do things. I don't just come in, disrupt their flow. I'm trying to, see how things go. So she says it, she looks around, I look around. So nobody says anything. And so then she looks right at me and says, so now who wants to give this class? And I'm like, me, I guess. And I'm like, and so later she said, I already know what you can do. I've already been told about who you are, what you do, how you do what you do. Your reputation precedes you. She said, that's why when I asked, I was referring to you the first time. I said, well, listen, I didn't know. I said, I'm the new guy. This is my first time meeting you. I don't know anything about anybody here. She was like, but I know all about you. Okay, great. That's great to know. I think. But like I said, coming in, they already knew my work ethic. They knew how I do what I do. And so the fact that that went ahead of me into an entirely different portion of the organization, sure, it's still the National Guard, right? But it's in groups, of course, because this particular unit has one mission, this other over here has different missions, and so you go about doing things differently, and there's not a whole lot of interconnection sometimes between, like, I didn't know anybody at the unit. I don't even know who told them. They still haven't told me who told them what's what. So I still don't know, but I'm like, I never knew that would get. I mean, even the commander, I had never met this guy in my life. I didn't know he existed on the face of the earth until I met him. But he knows all about me. And they already have certain expectations, for things that they are expecting me to do based on I don't even know what said expectations are, because I don't know anything. I'm just coming in, I'm just getting promoted, and I'm just here. And so, but I'm proud of that such a reputation will precede even. That's all.
That's a damn good thing to be proud of. Well, guess what? Here's number 5 for me, and I'm going to take some low-hanging fruit, my friend. I am proud of this. I'm proud of this for myself because, in all honesty, I hate all of this. Like, I hate it and I love it. I'm not a natural, and this word is gross to say, performer, because essentially that's what we do when we're on camera. Whether you're playing a part or just being raw and talking, as yourself, you're still playing a part, right? You're still playing a role. And doing this and doing the other thing and doing the streaming thing, I'm kind of proud of it because, like, for me, I spent a lot of time early on not taking certain risks when I should have. I stayed very stationary for a long time because I was too afraid to do X, Y, and Z. I had to learn through this crucible of bullshit that I went through years ago how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, how to manage my own emotional state in those moments. Like, I'm pretty fucking good in a chaotic situation. I am proud of that too. I'll tack a 6th one on there. Whether it's chaos I've created or chaos in the world, I'm pretty good at it. I have a solid state of mind when it comes to chaos. But it's sort of casting aside that fear of, oh, what if this or what if that? And I finally, like, I don't care. It's fine. Whatever is going to be is going to be, because through that early recovery, through that, that time of when I was sort of like relearning how to live life on life's terms, in the recovery program that I was in, being comfortable with those uncomfortable spaces is a lot of where that came from, because you have to be vulnerable. You have to have the conversations, because if you're going to recover in any meaningful way, you have to have those conversations. Yeah. I'll give you a perfect example. There's a thing in recovery called the 1, 2, 3 shuffle. Basically, you're stuck on step 1, 2, 3, right? 4th is this thing where you take your whole inventory of every awful thing you've ever done, said, thought, blah, blah, blah. You write it all down. The 5th one is taking that list and sharing it with somebody, typically your sponsor or somebody else in the program, whatever. And you can imagine in recovery, there's some pretty heinous shit that gets said there. I mean, people are people, and whether you're in recovery or not, you're trying to turn your life around, you still have done the things you've done.
Right.
And my point is that allowed me to have the courage to say the shit that I do, because for me, it's just releasing that energy and not holding on to it. And I have other shit that I, still hold on to, because I am what I am. I'm a person, I'm flawed like anybody else, but I am proud of the ability to be vulnerable and to have these kinds of conversations. So yeah, I think you owe me 2, but I mean, I did extra credit on the assignment, so it's fine if you just do the 1. No, I'm kidding. But your turn, though.
I got you. I can give you two. I can give you two.
Okay.
I just thought about this one, and the last one I hate it. It's gonna make me be emotional. Um, I'm
Oh
proud of
no,
my
that'd be terrible.
deployment. Yeah, I'm proud of
You
my
proud of your
deployment.
deployment? Okay.
Um, I learned a lot. I learned a lot that helped me to
I'm sorry. Can
um
you give context of when and where and all that, just so people know
yes,
who haven't,
yeah.
who haven't heard?
Um yeah, because there's a whole story behind it. Um and we talked about this whole rank thing again.
Mm-hmm.
I was a private first class. The third rank up from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You got a private, a PV2, which is technically still a private, and a private first class. That's where I came in. And I am then doing the job 3 ranks at least, sometimes 4 ranks higher than what I am, just because of a lack of people, a lack of personnel.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is in 2018, to 2019, June through March, June 18 through March, June 18 through March of 19.
Okay.
And between, I mean, I was in Afghanistan, but we operated out of 6 bases, 7. I'm sorry. I flew to 6 of them throughout my time there, and managing ammunition for aircraft, sometimes single-handedly, dealing with millions upon millions of dollars of ammunition that was assigned to me, that I was signed for, that if it went missing, it would be all on me. And the fact that none of it went missing, all of it was completely accounted for, whether it was expended or we still had it. All my records were accurate. I didn't have any situations. When we left, all my books were what they were supposed to be. Not only that, and this won't sound like it sounds, I lived. Let's do that. I mean,
I got it. Yeah.
I've told this story. They shot a rocket at us that was about 25. It impacted about 25 to 30 meters from where I was standing. And where I was standing was in between 2 10,000-gallon fuel bags, which were full. So 20,000 gallons of fuel.
Horrifying.
I was standing in between, and something went boom, not too far from it. So very much horrifying. So I lived, and that's just one attempt at my life that I could talk about. So I lived, and then I learned a lot of leadership things there, because I had to lead soldiers that, didn't know the job that I was doing, but they were supposed to help. And not to mention even dealing with personal issues, all those things that non-commissioned officers do, but I'm not that. So I learned a lot I was really tried in the fire, literally in the fire sometimes. And I'm proud of that. I'm really proud of I'm proud of that, and the man that it helped shape me into, the one that you see in front of you and that you hear speaking to you. Finally, why do I do this to myself? I am proud of the friends that I've made over the course of this whole streaming thing. Why would I be proud of that? I can be a very guarded person, not one to let my guard down, not one to let people in for things that have happened. And let's be honest, to let strangers, let's be honest, strangers in and have this relationship where I can tell you everything and anything and have never actually laid eyes on you.
I have something I have to say to that. So our dear friend LND and I, there's a meme that's gone around about your online friends. You shared all of these traumatic and wonderful, amazing highs and lows in your life, and you've never seen each other's knees. You don't know what they look like.
Exactly.
And it's silly, but it's true. No idea.
It's a fact. And I'm like,
Let's tore someone up.
actually, you all have seen my knees. I did do well, you haven't seen my actual knees, but you see that I did do a Beat Saber stream when I stood up. So you've at least seen that. But
Fair enough.
but I'm like, as much as I protect myself from just people, because let's be
Mhm.
honest, some of the people are jerks, right? They just are.
Yeah.
Um, I have a group of people who, no matter what, they have my best interests at heart, and they genuinely care for me and even my son. Um, and so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact, and I guess I'm one up on you. I guess I'm giving you 7. I'm proud of the
Okay.
fact that I've allowed that I have these friends first off, and the fact that I've allowed myself to be in a space where I can be a friend to those, or the reverse. The fact that I've allowed people that I don't know to be friends with me, to be that intimate, that personal, and then that I've been able to be, I've had the privilege. It's really been my honor and privilege to be friends with people, with such amazing people, such an incredible group of individuals who are just like they are. I'm done.
Yeah. That's okay. Um, it's a good group of people. I could not have asked for a better group of people, friends. I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, the friendship that you and I have, the fact that we've done this, and that it's. I mean, it's incredible.
All because of a random game.
I mean, for me, it's my nephew's fault that I'm on here. My 13-year-old nephew. It's like, you gotta go on Twitch. It'd be great. Ugh, told the story 1,000 times on stream,
It should
but
have.
I mean, here we are. I mean, I have some of the most amazing friendships with people that never met, but I mean, and I mean, to go off on a little bit of a tangent, the friendships that I've had online and offline, I mean, they're the same. Like, granted, you clearly, if somebody's in your life, you see each other, it's a different thing. But I mean, my wife and I, we met friends out here that for years we only knew them online, and we finally found out that they live here in our area. So we spent the last, I don't know, 8 or 9 years hanging out, knowing each other's families. We went on vacation a couple times together. I mean, genuine friendship. So the friendships that I have here, what's the word I'm looking for? Undeserving comes to mind, but I'm not allowed to say that. So I would say I'm privileged to know you and all the other amazing people in chat because you're wonderful people, and I'm thrilled to know you. Sorry. I'm
But
sorry, Mandels. I know.
but undeserving, I don't agree with.
Well, that's why I had to stop myself because I
Well,
knew
we're here.
immediately.
Nope, we're here.
We're not here. We moved on. Remember? It was the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, If we moved on, then I need to put it in reverse, and here we go.
We're not turning around. It's a track. It goes forward. It doesn't go backwards.
Cool. Then we can come back around and circle to it. Perfect.
I got it.
Undeserving? Excuse me?
I said what I said in the words of a great wise person that I know.
And I'm going to say what I said.
Go ahead.
An amazing, number 3. Such an incredible human being with such insight. With such insight, such wisdom. Let's be honest. Perspective. How are you not deserving? Because as much as you pour out, you deserve somebody to be able to pour back in. Because what you can't do is pour out of something that's empty. I don't care how much you try. Get
I don't have
cup.
an empty container. I'll pretend. Here. Cup,
Nope,
a
I've
cup in my
got
hand.
one. Cup.
Okay.
It would have been terrible if someone fell out and I looked in it first. What can I get out of here? I can get nothing out of this cup that is upside down. I get nothing out of that. I would have to have put something in there in order to get it out. And so you,
Yeah.
sir, I don't care what you say, you, sir, you 100% deserve people who, all of us, who can put us in our place, no matter what we think or feel, can put us in our place and make us to understand that we are very much indeed deserving of the people that are in our lives. We deserve them. And so, sir,
Yes. I'm listening. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing your words.
Well,
Every last one of them.
I know you hear them, but I need you to listen to me. You
I'm
hear
listening.
because
I'm
you
listening.
have ears.
Yes, I do.
You do.
I have ears.
You
I mentioned that. Yep.
you deserve all of it. Honestly, you probably even deserve more.
Thank you. Okay, we can stop there.
No. You opened this can of worms, so now here we are.
Let me throw the can of worms out in the back. All right. So when I said undeserving, I knew immediately it was a mistake. And that's why, all kidding aside, I really did do that corrective action, because it's like, why would I say that, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, that's a perfect, textbook version. Example of what the hell we're talking about.
Exactly.
Right? And I that's, I suppose, something it's a go-to in the sense of like putting myself down in order to make others shine a little brighter, I guess, because those people, everybody, are so important to me. So it's not a great behavior. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I can just say that I will try harder, which is ultimately all I can ever do, right?
Of course. And so the commitment then is, which I've done a couple of times today, even within the scope of this hour and a half or so, is that every time, and I'm going to get this back, and I already know this, but fine. Whenever you say things like that, anybody say things like that, I feel like it's as the friends, like it's our obligation to remind them as to why that's not a thing.
It's not only our obligation, but we do it with such glee. It's considered bullying.
It is bullying, but
in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, it's the right answer. It is the right answer because, again, to your point, we may mean it in one context.
Yeah.
But these are things that you're saying, and that could become our reality. I'm not deserving of anybody.
And it has. I mean, to say it could be is not the statement. It is very much so. Yeah.
And so, I don't want you to ever believe, and not that you do, but I don't want you to ever believe that you are undeserving of our friendship. I don't want you to ever believe that. But things that we repeat often, that becomes our reality. And then you genuinely, I mean, you corrected it, and that's not what you were meaning. But who's to say?
Can I make a claim too, really quick, to what you just said? Not only does it become our reality, but we try to force that reality onto others so they believe in it. That's the craziest shit.
Yes.
I'm going to reject what you have to say because you are simply wrong. The laws of physics in your head, as far as I'm concerned, do not apply.
Exactly. And so, and that's why it's so important. And so I guess, we talk about, practical steps. I think there's, in this case, responsibility for both the person and those that they're connected to.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we do need that reminder that, hey, everything you said, no. I didn't.
And everything. Blanket, no.
Just
hard
no.
stop.
I don't and no, you can't explain. No, you can't try to fix it. You can't do. Just no. And I'm going to tell you why no. I won't just give you no, but I'm going to tell you why. And you're going to
in
sit
the most
here
annoying way possible.
and you're going to listen to all of it, and I'm going to tell you no.
And I'm going to want to jump out the first floor window and get out of here.
Exactly. But this is the reminder, because then that helps us, that the receiver who doesn't want to receive, alter our behavior, because it's so second nature. We just say it. It just comes out.
Yeah. Oh, you heard me. I said it immediately, and then instantaneously was like, "Fuck."
Yep.
Redirect. Yeah.
Exactly. And so
it's too late though. You heard what I said.
But it is very much a behavior that can be changed. But we need somebody to call us out on it. Somebody has to call us out, because we may not always realize what we're doing, because we're creatures of habit. Things that we've done is what we'll do. So we need somebody to redirect us into that. But at the same time, we do need to be aware of it.
Well, yeah, because otherwise it's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you not listening to your friends who are clearly trying to give you a message that you're, for some reason, not willing to receive? Like, all kidding aside, when somebody says, hey, say something nice about yourself, I'm like, it is a painful moment just because I don't want to have to do this exercise, but also like, it is sort of retraining my brain to think a little different. Well, to at least express differently. Thinking, I can't promise anything. I'll try better to modify my thinking, but that is a hard thing. I will try not to express those negative statements. That's the best I can do.
But even in that, it's still a retraining. It's still a retraining, because now you have to think about it again.
Yeah.
And so at some point, as you're starting that negative thought, it's immediately replaced by the positive. And then at some point, there is no negative. It is just the positive. Because, and sure, here and now and then, but how often, that's too much work to have to stop every time and think again. I am, well, hold on, no, wait, I can't say that. And then you go into what you're going to say, or so, because I'm just not that good. You know what? Hold on. I'm sorry. I can't say that. Who wants to do that every time? That's too much to have to do. That's just
but you have to be mindful of the shit you say, right? Like it's no different. So this is the fun exercise. Doing that is no different than if you were to talk to somebody else about them. You're going to pick your words carefully, right? Mm-hmm. Because you don't want something to be misinterpreted.
Right.
Why can't we give ourselves that same grace when we pick our words better?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't have an answer,
but I think in having to constantly fix it prompts us to be more careful. So then I don't have to go back and fix it. I can just say what I'm meaning to say without having to go back and correct it. And that's going to take time, but I think it's totally feasible.
Time, I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure. And granted, we won't always get it right. That's not a, that's a reasonable expectation to miss it. But the key point is to understand that you've missed it and then make those corrections. But hopefully those corrections get few and far in between, because you said it right. At the initial, on the onset of it, you said it correctly.
Yeah. I do want to change gears a little bit again, with regard to success. Yeah, I know. With success. So we talked about some macro examples, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing of having to delineate for everybody 5 small examples, but let's not gloss over the small, because small successes build up to be big ones. Simple things, little things that you can't. So, I mean, I've made it no secret that over this last 5 months, with everything that's gone on with me physically, it's impacted me mentally too, a tremendous amount. Anxiety, depression, everything, across the board. And sometimes just the most simple thing. I got up and did a thing today. I cooked one meal for myself. Gross as it sounds, I took a shower today. Whatever. Because when you're when your bar is that low for yourself, and I've heard other people say it. I mean, this is not a new concept. This is just pointing something out that maybe somebody's not being mindful of. Because, like, well, I can't do all that. Take successes wherever you get them. You know, and I tell myself the same thing that I'm saying out to the audience too, because I do try to have those moments where, okay, I did something today in a positive way that I didn't do yesterday. I'll take that. I will take that. Something as simple as, I don't know, whatever. Take your pick. You get my point.
Yeah.
And I don't want to gloss over that stuff because it's huge. As tiny as it is, it's huge. Because when you're mired in all of that really heavy, with all that heavy stuff coming at you from all angles, sometimes doing even the smallest things can be a Herculean effort. I know you know that. I know for sure I do.
Yeah.
Something as simple as picking up the goddamn phone and returning a phone call. It's like that 50-pound phone. You don't want to touch it. You know? It's too heavy. No, this can't be lifted. May as well be Thor's hammer. But did you pick up the phone that day? You make the text back to that person or call them or whatever. That's a success. I'm sorry. It is. And don't diminish it because, yeah.
I mean, it's major to the point that it could be life or death. Like literally, depending on the situation, could alter the very direction of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to your point, we can't diminish the quote unquote small wins, because you might say small in comparison to something else, but the fallout from said decision, from said small win, can't be measured. It can't be compared because of how massive it really is. So, I mean, a win is a win. A success is a success, period. Because it takes all of them to get us wherever we're going. So, I mean, and I think a lot of that is relative to us, but why does it have to be a small success? Why does it have to be a small win? Why can't it just be a win? Why can't it just be a success? Why can't it just be what it is? Why does it have to be quantified? You know, this one is a 10 on my scale, but this one is a 30 on my scale. This one is 150 on my scale. Why do we have to have a scale? Why can't we just be a success?
I mean, you literally just said everything perfectly. I have nothing to add to it. Honestly, no, I'm serious. You really put it in the most perfect way possible. Like, why can't we just simply call it a win? Why do we have to say, oh, you know, I had a small win today. I did X. It's a fucking win. Because in your mind at the time, whatever that small thing, so we're still using that word, it's the same effort you'd put forth to going to school for 4 years. I mean, it's not, but you know what I'm trying to say? It's just that much of an effort because it requires so much of you to do whatever the hell it is. So, yes, I mean, it's probably better to say just a win. Doesn't need to be qualified because you're already qualifying it if you say what it is, right? You've already expressed what that win is. This is a win for me today. This is a success for me today because I couldn't do X, Y, and Z yesterday. Or for the last 6 months, I haven't been able to do, or I've been trying to do whatever.
You did it.
Right. You did it. So, yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it. I think you absolutely nailed it.
We've got work to do.
We do have work to do. There's also a question that's popped up in chat. Let me check it out really quick. JR asks, what was that experience of anxiety and depression like for you during the time? What has helped you take some of those small steps you did? If you're talking about recently, to be really honest with you, I spent quite a bit of time on our last episode talking about it. I will say having an incredibly vast support network helped me. I am a very fortunate human being to say that I have a wife that supports me beyond measure. I have a family, my brother and his family, that support me and want nothing but the good, good for me. I have friends, both, in IRL and here, that were just some of the most amazing human beings I could have ever hoped to meet in my life, and I'm thankful for. So while that's not necessarily everybody's experience, having that support network, because I did talk about this last time, having a support network of people, even if it's just a few, if it's one, something, anything, you cannot do it alone. You just can't. I'm sorry. You can't do it alone. I learned that the fucking hard way. And I'm not perfect. There are times, admittedly, where I have tried to do things alone I shouldn't have. And in retrospect, I wish I had. And for future planning, I will. You're talking 40 years of behavior. You don't unlearn that shit overnight. You don't just cast it aside. I mean, it's there. It's just who I am. So all this behavior modification that we're talking about takes a conscious effort. So to add on to the last bit, with regard to the small steps, I mean, knowing there was a goal in mind of being able to return to life, whatever life was after what I dealt with, whether I was going back to work or, going back to work and stream, whatever all that was, it was just, that was what fueled me to, make sure I did what I could to heal fast or to get better or whatever the hell. And also being very honest about my state of mind too, where I was, and where I am now. I have made it no secret that this coming week I'm seeing a new therapist, and we're going to talk about trauma, because that was brought up to me. It's like, hey, have you thought about the fact that you might have been traumatized by this and chronic pain in the past? I did a whole other podcast on it, not to, get into a whole other subject, but it's something that I'm dealing with because I need to. So big step, small step. That's a pretty huge one. And all the other ones, I think, got me there too. I'm sorry, I got a little off road there at the end, but I'm pretty proud of the fact that this Thursday I'm going to start that process. I don't love it, but I'm proud of it.
And I'll add to that, because I was in a situation when I came back from deployment. I guess a step, not small, because we're getting out of this measurement here. A step was, hey, I need help. Something's wrong. That was, I was good to say that was a major step, which, not saying that it wasn't, but that was a thing that I was like, something's wrong. So it was the acknowledgement of, hey, something's not right.
Yeah.
And then even that, it was, something's not right, and it hasn't changed. Despite all that I've been trying to do, it hasn't changed. So I've got to do something else. That's, those kind of things, they're important, and while, we're working to not put steps on pedestals, there are certain orders to steps.
Sure.
Yeah. So you do have to realize, hey, something's up. Don't hide your eyes to what's going on with yourself. We said, I'm good. Everything's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Is it really though? Is it really fine? Or are you just glossing over the fact that something's wrong in an attempt that if I ignore it, then it'll go away?
Yeah.
That doesn't work in video games.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't work in real life. How many times have
No.
you said, yeah, I'm just gonna, yeah, I hear you. I see that. We're just gonna leave that right there.
Right there,
And
yeah.
what usually happens is before you realize it, it comes here. It's right in front of your face. It
Almost
rushes
always.
you. Yeah, it rushes you and it's right in front of your face.
And you
at
shouldn't
this
be
point-
surprised, but you are.
Yeah, and it's a whole lot worse than it looked when it was way over there.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we when we understand it, we understand that it's there. We all of us we need to deal with it. Because it just doesn't. It just does not.
How do you deal with it though?
And so, and for each individual, that may be different. That's, I can't give you a straight answer that says you have to do this,
Mhm.
and that's where some self-reflection at least comes in.
Oh God.
Is,
I mean, yeah. That's the most basic starting point, right?
yeah. So I need help.
Mhm.
So what kind of help do I need? And so that really takes some time to assess, okay, I know something's wrong. Do I know what's wrong? If not, how do I find out what's wrong? And so there is a process, but it honestly, and it's been said, asking for help is one of the most courageous things you can ever do. As self-sufficient as we try to be, we can't, we rely on somebody for almost everything that we need. And yet it's the very thing that we shy away from.
Yeah. I mean, I am guilty as the next person. I tell a little bit on myself. I hated the idea anybody helped me with do anything. When I was a kid, literally hated the word help. Let me help you. No. Stop using that word. I refuse to listen to it. I do not need your help. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know what the hell was driven into my mind to do that. I certainly didn't set much of that aside after I was, grew up. It's been different again, last little over a decade now. But I mean, some people would rather die than ask for help, right? Like literally would die than rather ask for help. And have. Right?
My mother was one of those.
My parents.
Literally
whether it's
died.
physical or mental or both.
Or both. She literally did not want to ask for help, and it killed her. The stress of everything going on that she refused to ask for help for that we didn't know about is what literally what led to her unaliving. I had to break it somehow. I had to break that. She unalived. Yeah. You weren't ready for that. You were totally not ready for that. But seriously, but seriously, that's what happened. So there's that. JR, I see you. I can give you a perfect example. That was it.
I was about to ask you, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, PTSD. Dude, it sucks. Understand, anything that went boom scared me to absolute death. We just talked about how I was 25 meters away from something that almost killed me. So anything. Another example, I told this man, I was driving.
Yeah.
Going about 75 miles per hour. Somebody had a blowout. It's a loud pop, loud bang. Scared me to death. Because I didn't know what it was. And immediately I thought somebody's trying to kill me. This is the truth. I am driving. I heard it. Bang. Again, 75. Bang. I literally went like this.
Jesus.
Now, mind you, I'm driving 75 miles per hour. I can't see down where the pedals are. I couldn't see. So I could have hit, God forbid, something was stopping. I would have plowed through them. Because in that moment, I couldn't even think to slow down. I'm just thinking, I need to get out of the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And I called this man. I said, hey, I got a situation. And actually, I called a few people and they didn't answer. Because he's at work. I don't want to bother him. This or that. I gave reasons why I didn't need to call him. But I called him. And I was quite flustered, as you can imagine. Because I get this thing where I have a hard time thinking. And I get into this thing of all I can really get out is and I never finish my sentence. It's just and it usually takes somebody trying to get it out of me for me to start saying sentences, because I felt like I just couldn't focus. Now, mind you, I'm still driving. I'm going to go pick up my son from camp. So one, I've got to interact with people when I get there. Two, he's going to be terribly excited to see me, and I'm not in a mind frame to even engage him. Right. Three, I've still got to drive home. I am at that point about a half hour from home. I am clean across town. I got to go through traffic and get on the highway to get home. I've got to be in a better space. And again, I didn't want to call anybody. Actually, I didn't want to call anybody. I just wanted to just really crawl in a hole, and that's it. And then I called a few people. When I didn't get their answer, I was just going to just deal with it and be like, okay, I'm good. That resistance of, hey, I know I need help, but I'm not going to ask, because one, I don't want people to think I'm weird. Two, people are busy. They got their own lives. Sis got his own stuff he's dealing with. Why do I need to call him to deal with it? And he's at work. I'm sure he's got a meeting he needs to be in. I'm sure there's a report he has to get done. Dearest Chipples might need something. He's dealing with all this stuff. And the way that I overcame my resistance to help, as cliche as it may sound, I asked for help. I came to the understanding, the realization, I cannot do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. I need somebody to assist me. And in that moment, I had to make a decision, because it was honestly, could have been a life or death decision in that moment for me and somebody else. I mean, God forbid I hit somebody going that fast. They're going to hit somebody else. Probably is going to be at an intersection. Now they're T-bone. You know, this long list of things that could happen. But I understood I had to get myself together. But I couldn't do that alone. So I really had to make a conscious decision that, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then what are you choosing? What results are you choosing? Because again, could have been some really bad situations. I'm ducking under the steering wheel. Usually when something happens, you're driving, your first reaction is to hit the brakes. That's your first reaction. Didn't dawn on me at all. I never once slowed down. And initially, I couldn't get myself together to do anything. And then I realized, okay, it's just a tire. It's just a blowout. It's just a blowout. And that's what actually brought me out of this state that I was in. It's just a blowout. Just a blowout. Then it was, okay, now I need to calm down. Now I need to calm down. All right, I need somebody. I need somebody. And that's when I just, again, I went through a list. I just start calling people. Clearly, this is the person I needed to talk to because nobody else answered.
Hey, happy to help.
And even in that moment, he doesn't know all of this. He was able literally to almost flip a switch. Didn't do anything spectacular, right? It wasn't, he didn't put on like his therapist hat and, turned it backwards and was ready to go and had all this philosophical stuff to say. It was just a conversation. It was literally just somebody to listen. And that was it. And as minute as that may sound, it meant the world to me. It was the world to me to be able to get me back in a place where I could function like a person. And so I've in all of that, because I still do with that sometimes. Sometimes because I have a real thing with sound association.
Mhm.
It just reminds me of somebody trying to kill me. And those fight or flight instincts, they kick in. And it takes sometimes somebody else to help me realize, okay, this is where you are. This is what's going on. You'll be fine. And so I can't neglect the fact that I need somebody to do that. I can't. And for me, it's been a retraining of my mind that says you need people, period. You may not need them every time and in every situation, but at some point you will need somebody. So be okay with that. Bottom line. And so that's the most recent example I can think of that I've been in. But it takes some doing. It's a retraining of the mind. Because again, we're very much, if anybody's independent, it's me. God, I want to do everything by myself. My poor son, because he's the same way. He wants to do everything by himself.
Yeah.
And so it's even knowing that, I'm trying to instill in him that it's okay to ask for help. Today, exactly. Well, for example, today, for example, we have a routine. When we get up, he gets up, he goes to the bathroom, and he brushes his teeth. So that's our routine. Well, I guess I left the cabinet open and I've been forgetting, and his mouthwash was in there. And so he wanted to use his mouthwash. I got no problem with that. That's what it's there for. What did he do first? He did everything he could to try to get it. He couldn't reach it. And so then he comes to me and he says, well, Daddy, I want to use my mouthwash. I said, okay. He said, but I can't reach it. I said, so then what do you need to do so that you can reach it? What do you have to do? He says, he says to me, Daddy, I need to ask for help. I said, so what do you need to say? Daddy, can you help me get my mouthwash down, please? Sure. So try to even instill in him that you can't do everything by yourself as much as you want to, especially him growing up. He's going from being a baby, now, according to him, he goes from being a baby, now he's a kid. So this is how because you go from a baby to a kid to a grown up. Those are your three stages in life.
Okay.
And so now he's a kid. Now he's a kid. And so he should be able to do things by himself because he's not a baby.
Right, of course.
But there are things you can't do. And so I have to tell him, it's okay that you can't do it. You just need to ask for help. And then I encourage him. Sometimes I make him actually ask for help. I know what you want because you told me you wanted the mouthwash. But I'm trying to instill in him to actually ask for help so that when he gets older, it's not such a stigma that I have to ask for help, that I am then comfortable asking for help because I've had to ask for help when I need something. And so it's a very important, practice. While granted, being self-sufficient is good. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying, you rely on people for everything, but there are things that we have to rely on other people for. And we have to be able to ask for their assistance with that.
Well, you just made the perfect transition for me. While you were talking, one thing I never considered is that sometimes when you don't ask for help, you can actually hurt other people who want to help you and can't because you won't let them.
Here we go.
I learned that the hard way. And I'm okay. I'm okay with it, but it hurts me to think that I hurt somebody else by not asking for help. So that's something to consider too, because the people in your life, whether they're your spouse, family, your own kids, friends, they want to help you. They want to be there for you. And to set that aside. Now, granted, it is what it is, but to set that aside, yeah, you got my point. Sometimes you have to because it's part of a relationship and you don't want to, but you should because people are invested in giving a fuck about you. There you go.
So you just,
Sorry about the microphone. I was just,
right. So
in your lap now.
So you now you just
balls in your court.
You're just going to drop that and just leave it there.
No.
But I mean, but you
fair.
make a great point. You make a great point because I was trying to not to say anything about it. I was trying my best not to do that. But how unfair and how selfish of us and how hypocritical.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, oh my God, the shit that we talk.
And then you let these people into your life to assist you, Jesus, to let them. That was one of the whole purposes.
Yeah.
For letting them in, and then you don't, and I mean, because then they could argue that you don't even value our relationship. You completely. So then, what am I to you?
Right.
You know.
I mean, I don't know if it gets that bad, but yeah.
But it could, because if this is the reason why you have me around, and then when the time comes you don't, what am I? Figurehead? Am
I just an actor in your play? Like, what the fuck?
Right. Am I just a pawn that you just manipulate when you get ready? Like, what, and people's perception can go where it goes, and then who can blame them?
Right.
Who can really blame them? So it's everything we do affects us.
Make another really annoying point.
No. Yes.
You have to expect that what you give out in the world, you will get back. It's a corny sentiment. But if we're going to say the shit that we say, do the things that we do, and to not expect it back is beyond ludicrous. But yet here we are. And this is why we're having this conversation in the first place. Because yes, while the subject is success, these are all these different variables that go into us calling things successes and failures. Even when it comes to getting help. We're not trying to be jerks, right? We're not sowing discord everywhere and doing all that. So we're not getting that back. We're trying to be kind to people, make friends, grow a community, have this podcast where we can talk about anything that makes two grown men cry on stream damn near every week. We put that out there. what the hell are we expecting? Right? It's
What am
just,
I
oh yeah, I'm just
expecting?
gonna throw all this shit out there. It's fine. I don't want none of it back. It's fine. No, I only export only, no import.
That's exactly what I'm expecting.
Well, that's not how that works.
It's literally just, hey, you know my thing. Hey, I'm just trying to help somebody out.
Yeah, I mean, you said
Period.
it earlier. I'm just trying to help. That's it. I'm trying to be of
Done.
service.
That's
Mhm.
it. Nothing,
stop.
nothing more, nothing less. Just, hey, I just want to have this conversation to help somebody else, and I'm done.
Right.
I am done. And so I can be honest, that's not at all my expectation. My expectation is literally not for anybody to say anything. We love feedback, but I'm really not. It's not, oh, let me say something so maybe somebody can help me. No, that's not it. And sometimes I wish I could not have my chat on because then it happens. It literally, and you're like, oh, now I got to read that while I'm trying to finish my thought, and now that's sitting in the back of my head, and I got to, those kind of things. But I mean, this is coming, and I know this is for you. It's coming from a genuine place of, I just want to help you. I just want to help you. I want to help you and you and you and even you back there. And that's it.
Well, and you know what else to add to more annoying stuff? Because that's what I do. That's actually a really selfish thing because you're shoplifting at that point, right? You get all this positive, ooh, let me feel good, I'm helping people. But what don't you get back from that? The same thing. You don't let other people do it and feel that thing. All you do is, all I do to assign I in those moments. No, that's not fair. That's not all I do. No. I'm sorry. That's not a fair statement. All I am doing in conjunction with those actions of trying to help or be nice or whatever the hell, it's also trying to avoid my own shit. Because if I'm helping you and if I'm thinking about you, I don't have to think about me. I don't have to think about what's in here and what might be wrong here. Now, you could do things in tandem or try to if you have the energy or the bandwidth for it. But in the end, that behavior that you're talking about, it can be viewed as very selfish, I guess, even though it's not necessarily meant to be.
I mean, but you don't have to mean to be selfish to be selfish.
To be selfish. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
You
it
have
goes
to
back
do
to
a
this
lot of
cup.
things and still do them. Yeah.
Go back to this cup. And I just told you the same thing that I literally just told you that you can't expect what I'm expecting. I literally just told you that you can't expect for you to have a cup and be able to pour out and not be poured into. And that's my very expectation, that I can just give out. I mean, you said it to me. You don't get to go around.
I have.
You don't get to go around with your goody two shoes, do good stuff and don't expect it back. That's what you said.
Yeah.
You said that more than once, actually.
Quote, but okay.
That's what you said. And I said to you, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I can. That's what I said to you. I know. I remember because I didn't want to hear it. As I have certain things that I say that makes me happy. One of them is I do what I want, and that's what I told you to do. I do what I want. That one, I do what I want, and I said what I said. Those kind of things. That's my justification, and I can just kind of, it's almost like a final statement. You can't do so and so and so, so I do what I want. Yeah. And then it's just, for me, it's fine. I don't care what else you say. It doesn't matter because yeah, that one too. That I took from a wise man that doesn't hold any weight. Because then it happens again. But yeah, it's, why is this so difficult? I hate it here.
I hate it here too. I think we did it, to be honest with you. I mean, we talked about our definitions. We talked about some successes. We talked about quantifying, not qualifying with small or big. I mean, oh, absolutely, JR. 100%.
Yeah, but I think so. I think so. I don't think that I mean, anything else I think would be beating words.
The dead
hard.
horse.
Sentences difficult. Would be beating a dead horse. So I mean, I think so. But I it is the hope that everyone hearing or seeing takes these things and really takes some real time to consider it. Real time to understand that one, we all need help. There's that. And even the success is the asking for help. That's a win in itself. And to take all of them and let it be something that builds us. Asking for help is not a thing that should break you or beat you down. It's literally designed to benefit. It's for your benefit. Once you get past the pride part of it, which is what that is, it's literally designed to help us be better. A more whatever you feel in that adjective, a more whatever you, or a less whatever you, all leaning in a positive direction. So I think that's just it. But I mean, it's crazy how we got into needing help from success, but that in itself is success. I think it's one of the biggest successes.
That's a perfect capstone to this conversation. I think it's you summed everything up perfectly. I don't think we need to say shit more. I think we just wrap it up.
Bye,
honestly.
Guys. See you later.
No, I'm kidding. Now I honestly don't have anything else to say on it. I think I covered everything I wanted to. I do want to spend a little bit of time walking through something with you regarding next week. We could do that here live on the. So next week we have a really special episode of the show coming. First of all, hold on a second. Everset says life is not a solo adventure. It's perfect because it's not. Sorry, I did add that in there. We have a very special episode coming next week. It'll be Saturday, not Sunday. Same time though, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing an interview. So once a month, starting next Saturday, we're going to do an interview called Vulnerable Interviews because we want to hear other people's perspectives. This is something we talked about prior to my hiatus, and now that no ma'am.
No ma'am.
Stay right in place.
Stay put.
You'll hear from us, but more importantly, you will hear from one of the most courageous human beings I have ever had the privilege of meeting and talking to in my life.
Dude.
The conversation will be incredibly difficult. Unbelievably so. So much so that I genuinely wanted to pull out at one point, and not do this for a few reasons. But I'm looking forward to the conversation. So next week we'll be interviewing our dear friend Kissy Kitten, and I think you guys want to be there for it. I think it's an important story to tell.
Oh, it couldn't be more important. It literally could not be any more important. It does have to be discussed. Very much so. Oh, there's evidence she said those exact words. Very much so.
Very much so. So I hope you guys can be there for that on all the sides, the Facebook and the Twitches and this and that. And also, we're going to continue that series next month. We have a guest lined up. I don't want to say her name yet because we haven't had that pre-interview, but it may. Never mind. I'm not gonna do it. It rhymes with no. If they want to say something in chat, they can. I know it was a challenge to come forth with the idea, so I want to make sure you're comfortable. And then the following month, pretty sure I can announce this. We have Melancholy Blues. We'll be interviewing in November. In November. So look forward to Vulnerable Interviews, first episode or episode 6 of this one, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. We'll title it something next week with, again, our dear friend Kissy Kitten. What do you think, buddy?
We did it.
I'm going to push buttons and do things.
We need to push buttons and do things. And we also need to get a raid target.
I was just about to say, we got to find ourselves a raid target. Let's do that. We'll do that live as we go through.
We do everything
Right,
live.
'cause we're-
Even when
we're
we have sound
professionals.
issues and video issues, we do everything live. There is no other way.
No other way. To our podcast community, this is where I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. As always, if you have anything to say to us, any feedback at all, please feel free and email us at vulnerablepodcast2@gmail.com. vulnerablepodcast2@gmail.com. And that'll be on the trailer too, so you'll have that there as well. And take care. And then here we go.
Be well.
All right. So
take care of yourself and each other.
Absolutely. All right. Who do we got? What's going on over here? If this decides to load. Do we want to go? Hold on a second. You have any ideas? I picked last time. Why don't you pick this time, actually? No pressure.
I knew you were going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that's what you were going to say. I was actually going to try to say it before you, but it wouldn't be the truth. Let's go see Lady of the Drow.
Let's do that. Lady of the Drow is an amazing person. Amazing. Member of Everybody Global Gaming. And just an awesome stream. What is she streaming right now? Do you know?
She is streaming Skyrim. I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Oh, cool. Let's go say hello to Lady of the Drow. Everybody on the Twitch, Facebook sides, thank you guys so much for being here. I mean, I'm not going to talk for Hammer. Hammer can wrap up, but I love you all. And Hammer, I'm going to deafen, and I'll talk to you here in a few minutes.
Yep, because I need to pick a raid target for Facebook and get these people out of here. So give me a little bit, and we can
all right, buddy. I'll talk to you.
and do things. All right.
All right, bye.
Push buttons and do things. I don't know where the button is. Oh, I found it. All right, let's do this. Well, there's that. Right? There's that. That's what it is. Whoa. Sorry, I had my foot on something and it almost it fell, and then I almost fell too. I think I can stop that. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. I know that wasn't as tough as they have been, but it had its moments. And so, but I appreciate all of you all hanging out with us. It means the world to us that you all take the one thing you can't get back, which is your time, and you hang out here with us. I really appreciate that. So let me see. I need to get my Facebook peeps over to somebody. Let's see who we can spread love to, and get you out. Let's go see. I guess I'm gonna send you all somewhere. I gotta go work. Let's go see. We'll see Mr. Sir. All right, and so we're gonna raise you off on both sides. That's not the right button. So over on Twitch, if you are sub, take the message by Drop the Hammer. If you are following, take one by The Hammer. And let's go show Lady of the Drow some love. All right, I love you all, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.